Welcome back to another episode of the Bleacher Boys Media Podcast. My name is Isaac. That's Ken, and today we're gonna be doing a top 5 AL and NL meat of the order type thing. So let me explain real quick. I'm sorry, Ollie's here too, by the way, with his amazing pedo stash, looking super fly. So
jealousy
today
does not suit
we are
you,
going to do. Jealousy. Is that what it is? Because I think my stash is a little better. I'm not going to lie.
We'll have a vote on it. We'll have the fans vote. Drop your answer in the comments below. Who has the better stash right
in the
now?
comments below, who has a better mustache? You can't really see mine because of the lighting, but
because it's not there.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Too far. Oliver, too far. Anyway, back on track. So today we're doing a meat of the order. So basically, what MLB team in the AL and the NL has the best meat of the order? So this could be 1, 2, 3. This could be 2, 3, 4. This could be 3, 4, 5. A lot of combinations you could go with. So basically, who has the 3 best consecutive hitters? And we're going to do a little top 5 list. But first, before we do that, I'm going to ask these fine gentlemen how they are doing. Ken, you're up first.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. Beautiful day yesterday. Spent my birthday in Ithaca, New York, with a lot of snow coming down, a lot of hail coming down. It was a cold winter day here. Thank you. I spent it with my friends. It was fun. We had a lot of good food, drank a lot of drinks. But today, just a quick update because Ollie's a Red Sox fan. The Red Sox front office guys are here, and in my next class that starts at 1, they're giving a little speech apparently, so I'm a little excited for that and see what they have in store.
I don't know if you want advice from them because they aren't doing so hot.
No, I know. I'm going to see what
maybe
they...
just put your AirPods in.
I'll update you guys.
Also,
I'm going to have the Yankee spring training. I'm going to have the Yankee spring training game on my computer while this happens.
Sam Kennedy coming to Ithaca right now?
I didn't say Sam Kennedy. I said some... I don't know their names yet. Just said the Red Sox front office members are here to give a presentation, and they're recruiting internships and with jobs and whatnot, so I'll see what they're up to.
Will you give them my info, please?
I will. Oliver Catran.
That's right.
Maybe you can make some suggestions because, as you know, they're not
maybe I show
so
them
great.
my Red Sox rant about how terrible their offseason was.
Yeah. All right, Ollie, how are you, man? I'm sorry we're roasting you already. It must feel bad. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm completely immune to your roasting because I am once again the best looking and most charismatic member of the Bleacher Boys today. Happy birthday, Ken. I'm sorry I forgot to wish you one yesterday. I have a question for Ken that we touched on last night. Just briefly before we get into our meat of the order picks, the World Baseball Classic is going to begin in, 3 or 4 days? Big excitement, first one in 5 seasons. Days, yeah. Ken, of course, supporting Team Japan, as you would expect. There is a surprise on Team Japan's roster this season. Lars Nootbaar, for some reason, is playing for Japan. That makes no sense to me. This dude is whiter than I am.
He's playing for...
No, he's playing for Team Japan, and this surprised me, so I asked Ken,
just landed
what's the story
last night.
behind this? And apparently he was born to a Japanese mother, and even though he was raised in the States completely, that qualifies him to play for Team Japan. So, Ken, what are your thoughts on this curious scenario? What do you think the other Team Japan players think about Lars Nootbaar being on their roster?
He landed last night. I was actually watching some Lars Nootbaar interviews this morning when I woke up. There was some Japanese media surrounding his plane. He landed, and he will be he'll be joining the team today in a scrimmage against one of the Japanese teams. His mother, Kumiko, is a Japanese woman, and so Lars Nootbaar has the choice of either playing for Team USA, which he declined to do, and then he joined up with Japan, which is interesting. This is the first time Japan's had a non-Japan born player on their team. It's kind of similar to Team Korea having Tommy Edman on their team. So those Cardinals boys.
That's what I was thinking of.
Those Cardinals boys are joining up with their I don't know Tommy Edman's story, but yeah, one side of the family.
God, just when you think somebody's white.
Yeah, really. I thought they were good people, and then,
Can't trust anyone anymore.
Yeah, really. Ollie, your pick, AL or NL?
Let's start with the AL. Let's start with our boys. We're all AL fans. Let's go right there first.
I like it.
Swear to God, if you have the Red Sox.
I'm actually going to start off with an honorable mention that I had. I know it's a little weird, but I'm going to start off a little hot. My honorable mention is the Cleveland Guardians, okay?
You kind of like the Guardians.
I kind of like the Guardians, man. As much as I hate Mr. Naylor, he's absolute beast. So the first meat of the order, I'm gonna go with Ramirez, Bell, and Naylor. Obviously Jose Ramirez, you don't need to say much about him. He is MVP candidate every year. Josh Bell, a little free agent pick that I guessed correctly. Cleveland needed some power hitters, and they definitely got that in Josh Bell. I think this was a 3-4-5 combination, and then you got Josh Naylor, who is an absolute freaking psycho. I'm that MFer type of guy. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's an honorable mention. Doesn't make my top 5, but do you guys have any honorable mentions really quick before we jump in?
I have an honorable mentions for the National League. I do not have one for the American, so if Ollie has one.
You can pick one real quick.
I do actually. I think for me, it's the Baltimore Orioles. It's that Mullins, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman combo. This is all dependent on if Gunnar has a breakout year this year, but the dude was amazing. Is it Gunnar? I'm not sure.
Gunnar.
Amazing in 34 games last year, and Cedric Mullins is due for a bounce back. So those three and that Orioles combo is my honorable mention.
Interesting. I had that on my list. I didn't make the list, but it was in my cutoff. Fangraphs had Gunnar, but I had Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, which is arguably better because that's more proven talent, and I think Santander will be the third hitter because Gunnar is Gunnar up yet or?
Yeah, he played a good chunk of the last couple months of the season last year.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Santander, I think. But anyway, let's jump right into the list. Ken, I'm going to ask you who your number 5 is first, and then I'll swing it over to Oliver Catran. Ken,
okay,
you're up.
All right, so my number 5 pick is the Tampa Bay Rays. Their 2, 3, 4 hitters of Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena, and Brandon Lau spoke volumes to me. Wander Franco only played 83 games last year, but we know what type of talent he has. There's a reason the Rays, of all teams, paid this man $300 million. Last year, he got off to a very slow start, and then he got injured, which was very unfortunate for the young shortstop, but he still hit to a 277, 328, 417 slash line, steals bases. He put up a 2.6 offensive WAR in 83 games. If he can stay healthy, I think we all can agree that he will have an outstanding season. Randy, he broke out in the scene in the 2020 playoffs. He's since been one of the most consistent hitters for this Rays lineup. Last year, 20 home runs, close to 90 RBIs, 41 doubles. I'm hoping some of these doubles turn into home runs next year. And then Brandon Lau, he got injured last year, 65 games played. He struggled in those 65 games. But he's only 1 year removed from the 39 home run season he had in 2021. And his 2019 to 2021 stats, that stretch of, 3 seasons, 2 plus that COVID year, he averaged 162 game average of 39 home runs and 105 RBIs with a 526 slug. So these three, I'm hoping they can stay healthy for the sake of this little exercise. They have a chance to be one of the elite offenses in the American League, which is new for the Tampa Bay Rays. They're not usually known for an elite offense, but I'm kind of buying.
What are your thoughts on that, Ali?
It's a completely baffling pick coming out of nowhere for Ken.
I knew you'd say that.
The Rays are a last place team next year and a bottom 5 offense.
What?
This is
wait. How can they be last place if the Red Sox are?
This is Ken's attempt at a hot take.
Did the Red Sox move divisions?
I don't want to give it that much credence right now. Ken's already digging himself in a pretty deep hole right off the bat. I want to check into my man's health. Maybe he's feeling overconfident because of his birthday. I don't know. But let's just move right on past that. Not even worth acknowledging. The Rays, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, so who's your pick?
I have a much better pick, a much hotter pick than that one for my number 5 in the AL.
I don't like that pick either, Ken.
It is the Texas Rangers. Now, the Rangers were a top-heavy offense last season. They were dependent on their biggest guys, trio, Lau, Semien, Seager. But I'm predicting that to be a top 5 offense this year, mostly because of the changes in defensive shifts, which I think are going to turn Corey Seager around. He had a 119 OPS plus last season on a 245 batting average, but he's still way too talented to be putting up those kinds of numbers. Marcus Semien has his every other year monster year pattern. He's due for his every other year huge breakout, which is what he usually does. And Nathaniel Lau was a revelation in his age 26 season last year, 141 OPS, 27 bombs, and pretty good rate numbers, batted .302. So I'm going to go Rangers number 5. This is a upside pick, high upside. It could end up coming back to bite me in the ass later. But they also have Josh Young and young sluggers. They're not on the list.
Doesn't matter.
It's about the meat of the order. It's about 1, 2, 3.
But they give everybody protection.
Can't bring up other names.
It's
Can't bring up other names.
I believe
No,
in
you
nuance.
Nothing to do with the exercise. That's like bringing up Jacob deGrom in this argument.
The episode is called exactly. It's meat of the order. The top best 3 hitters consecutive. But Ali, I do like that pick. I if I had to pick between you two, I actually might lean Ken just because you don't know what you're getting out of Lowe. That's a freak season he had, and like you said, Simeon and Seager obviously can be nasty, but I mean I like the young Franco Rosarena talent, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pick a 5. It's hard to pick a 5 team. But I think I did it better than both of you. I'm going the Minnesota Twins. I just think that. Really?
No. It's intriguing. I didn't really look into that.
Okay, so here we got a Buxton, Correa, Polanco. I think this is actually one of the best 3 hitters in the AL, and I'll explain why. Byron Buxton in only 92. What?
Best 3 hitters in the AL. We're at number 5 here, buddy.
Okay, let me explain. Byron Buxton in 92 games, 4.0 WAR, 28 home runs, very low average, but with the shift that could go up. He was slugging .526. So, Byron Buxton, if he's healthy and stays on the field, he can be an absolute nasty player. Comparison to Mike Trout. Dude can do everything, steal bags, play defense. And he's still, the crazy thing is that even with 92 games, he's still got a 4.0 WAR, which is really good for that, few amount of games. So Byron Buxton, obvious stud. And then, I don't even want to talk about Carlos Correa, but I can't deny it. He is a good player. 2022, 136 games played, 4.4 WAR, 22 home runs, 291 average. He's obviously talented. As much as I hate his guts, he is a great number 2, 3 hitter to have in your lineup. He's scary. He can pop off at any second. And then finally, Jorge Polanco. He had a really bad year last year. I'm not gonna lie. He did not perform very well. 235 average, only 16 home runs. But if you look back to his 2021 season, 33 home runs, 269 average, low strikeout rate, and he slugged .503. So, he can pop off at any second too, and I think he's due for a bounce back year. So that's why I have the Minnesota Twins as my number 5 pick. Thoughts?
I like that pick. It's intriguing. I didn't look into the Twins much. That pick is reliant on Buxton staying healthy because he will be the best hitter in that trio if he stays healthy. But I like it. It's a similar pick to Ollie's, I think, with the Rangers. It's kind of like banking on one guy to. I mean, it's not a consistency pick. Your 3 guys, have put up great numbers in the past, but we'll see what they do next year or this year.
Ollie?
I actually do respect that pick. It's not something. This is a biased thing for me. I don't want the Twins to do well, and I don't like Carlos Correa, so I don't want to pick any team that he is on. But statistically, it's justifiable. So I don't support you morally, but I support you analytically.
Appreciate that. I appreciate you, brushing past your biases to appreciate a good pick. So I really like that, Ali, and thank you for that. And you know what? I like that so much. So why don't you start with your number 4 pick?
You're telling me I get to start? Really?
You get to start.
Right,
I know.
You
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get
crazy.
crazy.
Take it in. Enjoy it.
Wow.
You're not going to get much of it.
All right. I'm going to savor this moment.
Yeah, this is the last time.
All right. Time to get hot once more. You guys have kept it cool, but Ollie's going to bring in a nice fire take for the fans here. My number 4 in the AL is the Los Angeles Angels, composed of what I'm guessing will be Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, and Taylor Ward. Again, the Angels are a top. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, the Angels are a very top-heavy lineup, but those 3 guys together had an OPS plus of 135, 145, and 178. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better three-man combo in the major leagues. Now, Taylor Ward had his injury issues last season, has consistency issues, but he's a very talented player just entering his prime. Mike Trout has had his injury issues too over the past few years, but a full season of Mike Trout, even here at age 31, is still almost guaranteed to be a top 10 offensive season in the MLB. And Ohtani is Ohtani. What more need be said? The Angels have tough competition here.
I like it.
Well, there are a lot of teams you could see coming in this number 4 spot, right? It's kind of, but having gone with the Rangers, I'm seeing a lot of strength in the AL West this season, and I'm going to keep on this avenue with the Angels. I believe in them.
Okay, I'm gonna butt in here because this is a surprise to me. Me and Ollie have the same pick for our number 4 pick.
Wow.
I also chose the Angels.
Never happened.
They're 1, 2, 3 of Ward, Trout, and Ohtani projected to hit at the top of their lineup. What is happening? I don't like agreeing with Ollie. It probably puts me in a bad spot. I probably biffed on this 4th pick here. But it's undeniable that their stats are there, man. Trout and Ohtani are going to carry this trio. Rendon, I thought about putting him in as the 4 hitter and moving Trout to 2, 3, 4.
Interesting.
But I don't trust Rendon's health again. He hasn't played a full season in a while, and Ward is a guy that's is on the up and up. I mean, he had a 135 OPS plus last year, 107 the year prior, and 96 the year prior to that. So each year he's improving, and he put up a standout year last year. 23 home runs, 65 RBIs, 4 offensive WAR. This trio, I think, I don't know, top offense in the American League. They're up for it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so the I-Man went a little different route here. I may have this team in another spot, but I have Toronto Blue Jays on my number 4. And that may be a little low for them, but they got to prove themselves still. I think they still got to prove themselves. So I have Springer, Bichette, and Vladdy. I think George Springer is one of the best players in the MLB, and I really admire him, not just because we have the same name, but because he absolutely terrifies me as a Yankee fan. Last year, 4.2 WAR, 25 home runs, 267. Was injured for a while, so he kind of stopped midseason, had to get it going again. But he can pop off at any time as well. And George Springer, leading off, can hit a home run on any first pitch. And then obviously Bichette. He kind of struggled last year. He didn't really have the season he wanted to have, but then halfway through the year, he started to get hot again, worked that average back up to a 290, 24 bombs. I see Bichette having a really good year this year. I think he can really bounce back and be a problem in the AL East. And then Vladdy Guerrero, what more do you have to say? 48 home runs in, 2021? Yeah, 2021, 48 home runs. Last year, not as good, 32 home runs. His walk rate was down, his K rate was up. So I think Vladdy's having a bounce back year and absolutely going off. I think he thought that he, if you're Vladdy, you're saying, okay, I really should be doing better than what I'm doing. So that's my number 4. A little questionable because I'm sure you guys may have them a little higher, but I don't know if I have as much faith in them as you might.
Okay, I like it.
He's learned his lesson. He's learned his Blue Jays lesson from last year.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little low. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was really high on the Blue Jays last year. I had them winning the AL East, and they kind of disappointed me. So I guess I'm a little skeptical of that offense now because they have the star power, but sometimes they just don't produce. So I'm gonna keep at an even keel, and they deserve to be on this list, but maybe not as high as you guys have them. So. I'm going to go with my number 3 pick because it's the same one. It's the Angels for me. I don't want to waste anyone's time. They talked about the Angels enough, but I did Trout, Ohtani, Rendon. Every year I seem to draft not Carlos Rendon. What's his name?
Anthony Rendon.
Anthony Rendon. I seem to draft him every year, and he disappoints me within the first 2 weeks by getting injured out for the year. I saw a spring training home run from him that looked absolutely nasty. He's a contact guy. He can hit 300. He can have 100 RBIs. So I really want to see a bounce back here from Rendon, and that's all I'll say on the Angels. Obviously, they have 2 of the best hitters potentially in the MLB. So, whether it's Ward or Rendon, I think that's a very solid lineup.
Okay, that was your 3, right?
Yep, that was my 3.
That was your 3. Ollie, you want to give us your 3?
I sure will. This is a pick. This is my my hottest take of the day. This is my money in the
just
bag.
Get hotter and hotter,
this is
man.
my deep pocket. This is my Alek Manoah. This is my pulling it out of the nowhere. See if I can strike gold. I'm going with the Seattle Mariners at number 3. And
I knew you were doing that after you talked about the AL West.
Wow.
It's going to be, in my mind,
That's
Julio
crazy.
Rodriguez.
Don't say Ty France.
Teoscar, and Eugenio Suarez. That's dependent
no.
on which version of Suarez we get this year. He is underrated. You guys probably don't remember he had a 130 OPS plus last year, and it's 111 for his career. So he's been more consistent than you think, aside from 2021 when he was absolutely buns. Strikes out way too much, but still has a ton of power, and drives in a lot of runs. He's a clutch hitter, really good runners in scoring position numbers. And Julio Rodriguez is a superstar, Rookie of the Year last year. He's got that 5-tool talent. And Teoscar, again, another guy who's probably should be talked about more. He's been overshadowed by guys like Vladdy for his career, but career OPS plus of 121. Guy had 116 ribbies a year ago. He's rock solid, super consistent. Now in that Mariners lineup, where he will have a fair amount of protection. Maybe not as much as he had with the Blue Jays, but still enough for his talent to play. Only 30 years old. So again, this is an upside pick. This is a believing in the future pick. I like the Mariners. I want the Mariners to do well. I like what we saw from them last year. I don't think you guys can really attack this pick. I know you will.
I'm attacking.
I don't think you really can.
I'm going to attack this pick.
Okay, then go. Give me your best shot.
Go for it.
Ken?
Well, for me, I mean, this is a 3-man consecutive best in the league. This isn't 2. Like, Teoscar Hernandez is a great player. Okay, I get it. But he was hurt last year. His consistency issue is there. There's a reason why the Blue Jays chose him to let go of, and why they brought in Dalton Varsho there. I mean, Teoscar's the kind of guy that you would like to have as the 3rd best hitter in one of these meat of the order exercises, but apparently he's 2 in yours. I think Julio Rodriguez is due for a little regression. I don't think progression isn't linear. He's not just going to get better each year. There's going to be bumps and bruises on the road for him. And Eugenio Suarez, that's just a foolish pick, man. He had one outstanding bounce-back year last year, but he's old. You saw his 2021 numbers. You see his strikeout numbers. Bat speed declining. He's not going near what he put up last year. This is a crazy pick. At third,
I can't in good conscience put Rodriguez, Hernandez, and Eugenio Suarez above Trout, Ohtani, Rendon. Like that's just like in good conscience, I can't do that. Like if I was in the court of law right
Ludicrous.
now, I'd be called criminally insane if I did that. Like, and I love how you said you can't attack this pick, and we just go and shit on this pick. But like, dude, you have Trout and Ohtani lower than Rodriguez and Hernandez. That's crazy talk. I'm sorry.
It's only because Trout's always getting hurt all the time.
He's the best
and so
player
is
in the
Teoscar,
world.
but Trout is the GOAT.
Yeah, no, he's very good. He's very good, man. But who won more games?
He's
last
pretty
year,
good.
dude?
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
It's just,
He's pretty
just
good. But
three MVP.
Teoscar's 100 games should overmatch.
We shall see.
At 3-2, bro.
We shall see.
Like, I wouldn't be mad at that pick at 5. Like, that would be a good 5
baby.
pick.
2001, man.
All right,
that would be a good
this
5
is just
pick.
a competition between me and Isaac now. Ollie's just ruined his whole board.
We shall see.
At least for the AL. We'll save it for the NL.
Yeah, we'll
save it
see
for
what
the
he does.
NL.
The harder they come, the harder they fall.
All right,
boys.
Ken.
That's crazy. My number 3 pick is me and Isaac's New York Yankees. I expect you guys to maybe have them a little higher, but I think the two offenses above them. I think the 2 offenses above them are better than the Yankees currently speaking. Aaron Judge, he's the best offensive player in the league right now, I believe. But I think the season he put up last year, there is some due regression. Like, he cannot put up 62 home runs and the OPS and the RBIs and everything he put up. He nearly had a triple crown
Call yourself
last
a
year.
Yankees fan.
So I think, he lands somewhere closer to his 162 game average norm. But still, I think he's up for the MVP. And Anthony Rizzo, I think the shift not being there benefits them. I think the Yankee fans, we've been talking about it all offseason and all spring training, but that's definitely going to benefit him. And Giancarlo Stanton, he's the X factor in this trio. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to play more than 110 games. And he needs more of these, because when he gets hurt, it's not only that he's missing games, it takes him a while to ramp back up and get hot again. He's a very hot and cold, streaky kind of hitter. When he gets hot and then gets hurt, it takes him more than what it usually takes for regular players to ramp up and get back to his like what he does best. So 31 home runs, 78 RBIs, not bad from Giancarlo, but I need that OBP and average to go up a little bit. His 462 slugging is right on par with his career numbers. So if he plays 130 games of healthy baseball, he's going to be one of the best power hitters in the game again. So this 2, 3, 4. I think you guys might even have higher. Ollie?
What a ridiculous! I can't believe you guys got Stanton. Like, what a ridiculous transaction that was. Who'd you send to the Marlins for him
Starling
again?
I wouldn't be
Castro.
surprised if
What
the
is
Yankees
this?
aren't even
Starling
on this list,
Castro.
probably.
Giancarlo Stanton was
Starling
such
Castro. He was a good player.
such a biff as a player, man. 211 last. I don't even want to begin with Stanton, dude. Giancarlo Stanton is such a.
You're coming at
disappointing.
Giancarlo?
I will again and again and again.
Oh,
man.
that gets Ken going. That gets Ken going.
Ollie, we were
if
sitting
you
next
wanna
to
wake
each
the
other
bear.
when we watched the Darwin's and Hernandez. Oh my
Bro,
God, you're so
I've seen Darnell McDonald hit home runs. Hitting a home run, a great player.
He's such
does
a
not make.
hater.
Donald McDonald.
Darnell
Okay.
McDonald was great.
He
Yeah,
thinks
all right,
that
Mr.
because we
Eugenio
hate on the Red
Suarez.
Sox, he can randomly hate on the Yankees. Like, that's just, like, so unjustified, Oliver. Like,
okay,
seriously
Eugenio.
disappointed in you.
My number 2
Like,
team
yeah.
this season.
No, 3. Wait,
nope,
2.
I just
Sorry.
did
Yeah,
my-
2.
it's my
No,
number
two. You're not the
Two,
host.
two,
Shut
two,
up.
two.
I hate this team so much, and I want them to lose. And I wish they would I wish they would all forget how to hit. I wish they would all go blind at once and forget how to see a baseball. I'm calling down a curse upon them
Let's
with
go,
Swedish black
Yankees.
magic. It's the
Let's
Houston
go,
Astros.
Yankees.
They are
Whoa!
not a vibe for me, but they're so good. I'm going a 3-man combo of Altuve, Alvarez, and Jose Abreu, their new acquisition. A lot of names you can put in that 3 spot. Tucker, Bregman, Brantley, whoever you want. The Astros have a disgusting
Wait, hold on.
lineup.
Can I pause this for a
Yes, sir.
second?
That's not what the
Ollie,
video
I
is.
think I think you kind of you're not following the rules here, buddy.
What?
So me and Isaac went on roster resources and picked the 3 consecutive hitters in a row. You can't just choose the 3 best hitters in the lineup and call it a day.
Yeah, I can.
You gotta choose.
I mean, okay, here's the rundown. Like Kyle Tucker was like 4th, but like he also could be like the 3rd hitter. Like, oh no, sorry, they had him like 5th, but he could also be like I kind of understand what Ollie's saying, but some of his
That's
picks
not
were
the
like putting
exercise.
like. I know, but putting Eugenio Suarez on Fangraphs, Eugenio was like number 6, and Ollie put him like 3 or 4. So like
I let that one slide, and I thought it was a mistake. For
I let that
team,
one
but-
slide. But yeah,
You guys think I care about what roster resource? What is this bullshit, man?
Because
I know
we
the
need a standard to follow.
I'm
We
the
can't just
standard.
choose-
I'm the standard. I've been studying baseball since before you were born, man. Get out of here. I'm the standard.
I'm the standard. Okay.
You guys are your standards. All right,
All
I
right,
have
I
my
gotta keep it
pick. It's the
rolling, guys.
Astros
Come
number
on.
2. Someone go next.
All right, but Ollie's Ollie's
Okay,
going,
I'm not
going
gonna
rogue
lie.
here.
I have the New York Yankees. Ken already talked about it, but Judge, Stanton, Rizzo. Rizzo's going to get more hits, higher average. Giancarlo Stanton, when he's hot, is the best player in baseball. There is no question about that. I think I'd take Giancarlo over anyone when he's hot. Everything comes off his bat, plus 110. Obviously, Aaron Judge is face of the Yankees. I agree with Ken that there must be a regression. He's not going to hit 62 again, but he damn well might hit 45, 50. So, especially if Judge is getting pitched around too, Anthony Rizzo is just going to have a better year. I could see a world in which Anthony Rizzo hits 40 home runs this year, and hits 260. So,
Whoa!
Wow.
yeah, I think this New York Yankees lineup is definitely deserving of the top 3 in the AL, especially this meat of the order, which is definitely the scariest to face, other than one other team, I think. So,
I thought I had a slight inclination you might go DJ, Judge, Rizzo, but DJ wasn't in that roster resources thing. So.
no, I love DJ, but Stanton is a better, threat right now.
Yeah. Okay. My number 2 is the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Isaac talked about him. Did Ollie?
I had him 4.
Okay, yeah, I'm going Blue Jays 2. Springer, Bichette, and Vladdy, the same 1, 2, 3 of your trio. George Springer, I just say a couple words about him. I mean, you said he's one of the best players. He is one of the best players, dude. He has these injuries that make people believe he's washed up or he's like kind of on the down, but no, dude, he's 131 OPS plus in his age 33 or 34 season last year. He hasn't had an OPS plus below 118, I think it was, since, and it was like 2015 when he made the All-Star team. So George Springer is Mr. Consistency. He puts up numbers in his sleep, and the Blue Jays are lucky to have him leading off, playing right field. Yeah,
He's not as good as Isaac Springer.
I really, that's true. Also, I think George Springer, just like from a pure hitter standpoint, he is just a pure hitter. He makes tons of contact, makes tons of hard contact, can hit for power. He's fast. I really wish George Springer was a Yankee. He really is fun to watch. UConn kid, by the way, too. So that's pretty cool. East Coast baseball.
Guess at what his lowest OPS was in his career.
720.
Ollie?
772.
Close. 780. And he's added an OPS
Damn.
above 800 every single season besides that.
Damn, dude.
And he's been injured for so
rocking.
much of the time, too, so he's just putting up numbers like crazy. Okay, Ollie, you're number 2.
Yeah. Played 133 games last year.
My number 2. I gave you my number 2 is the Astros. It's time for my number 1 now, actually. I think we skipped Ken, though.
No,
Okay,
Blue Jays
just
pick
went.
is number 2.
Number 1 for me, it's the Blue Jays. Like you guys just said, we've talked about them to death. It's Springer, Bichette, Guerrero. This pick is predicated on Guerrero having a huge, not bounce back, but another huge breakout season at age 24. Last season he was excellent, but we've come to expect so much from him that the 132 OPS plus can actually look like kind of a downgrade. Bichette was even better in 2022 than he was in 21, even though it didn't feel like it. His career progression arc just keeps going up and up and up. I love this guy. I love the way he hits. I love his high average and decent power combo. He's like a Dustin Pedroia. And then Springer is Springer. We've talked about him all day. Also plays great defense for what it's worth. And
That's true.
I'm putting the Blue Jays at number 1.
Not worth
I'm
much.
Buying it again. I am buying. I'm putting my stock in there. That's where I'm hedging my bets. And you'll notice who I did not have on this list in my top 5. It's a forgettable team.
The New York Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, Judge and a bunch of bums.
Yeah, everyone knows the Mariners are better lineup.
In other words, Judge and a bunch
They're
of
more balanced.
Wow, dude.
I mean, you're out here saying Rizzo's going to hit 40 home runs? That's baffling, man.
He could.
That's fictional.
You know what's baffling is Eugenio Suarez and Teoscar Hernandez
Eugenio
over
Suarez.
over Judge, Trout, Stanton, Rizzo, Ohtani. Like, dude, you put Eugenio Suarez over. Yeah, that's
Suarez is better
insane,
than Rizzo, my guy.
So,
Suarez is better than Rizzo any day.
that's
Alright,
a stretch.
lay off the drugs.
Oh my God, Rizzo.
Oh, Jesus. Ollie didn't have his coffee this morning. Okay, so my number 1, we've talked about him already. I have the Houston Astros. I hate to say it, but they just flat out rake.
Which 3 did you have?
I had Bregman, Jordan, and Tucker. And before you say anything, Fangraphs had... Okay, hold on. Fangraphs had Bregman, Jordan, and then Jose Abreu, and then Tucker. But, dude, Tucker's not hitting freaking 6th in the lineup, dude. He's an MVP candidate. Like, he's not hitting 6th, dude. I don't care
He's
what
hitting
they say.
6th, dude.
He's not hitting 6th, dude. He's not. Kyle Tucker, I don't care if it's a lefty-lefty matchup thing. Kyle Tucker is better than Jose Abreu. He should not be hitting 6th in a lineup.
Opening day, I will send you a screenshot of the Astros
MVP
lineup.
candidate. Kyle Tucker, I hate his guts. He's really good. He is not a 6th hitter in the MLB, dude. That's insane.
You guys
That's
didn't follow
crazy
the
talk.
rules, man.
No,
There's
they're my own rules, but anyway, that's my top pick for the AL. Do we disagree with anyone's top pick?
My number 1 pick is the Houston Astros as well, but I followed the rules and had Jose Abreu there at 5. But I think it's not that big of a downgrade from Abreu to Tucker. I think Tucker is a better offensive player, but Jose Abreu is Mr. Consistency himself too. Like 304 average last year, 824 OPS, 133 OPS plus. He had very similar. I mean, Tucker has more power than him, but 15 home runs and 70. I think 75 RBIs, that number's going to jump to triple digits easily next year with it hitting behind Bregman and Alvarez and Altuve, Pena, whoever they have up there. 40 doubles. His home run total has dropped a little bit, but his 40 doubles makes up for it. 4.1 offensive WAR. That's a lot higher than everyone Ollie had. So, I mean, this trio is... I think Bregman is the key factor here because I can count on Alvarez and Abreu to do their thing. Bregman has been up and down in the past, but I think he's kind of recaptured what he used to be with the MVP candidacy years in the past. 259 average, 366 OBP, 454 slug. Pretty solid season from Breg here. 93 RBIs, 38 doubles, 5 offensive WAR. So this trio is atop the AL in my opinion.
Damn. Look at all of us swiping right on the Astros.
Damn,
We're just here
Daniel.
swiping right on the Astros. That feels bad. I feel bad about this, man. I don't want to do
Yeah,
this.
well,
it's undeniable,
they've
bro.
Proved it. They've proved it over and over again, dude. So you can't keep denying the facts.
It hurts.
It does. The pain. All right, so I think that pretty much concludes the AL. Unless there's any other thoughts or comments. Anyone?
Always.
The Kansas City Royals, composed of Bobby Witt Jr. and Nicky Lopez.
That would have been a better pick than the Mariners. I'll tell you that.
Probably. So now we're going to move on to the NL. Before I jump into the list, I'm going to give a little honorable mention. This may be on some of your lists, though, because it was really a toss-up between these two teams for me. But I have the Atlanta Braves as my honorable mention.
Wow.
Acuna, Olsen, Riley. Obviously, Riley is an insane player. Really started to break out in 2021, 2020. Acuna coming off of injury, he looks nasty. All the spring training videos, hits the ball so hard. And Olsen, I think he's going to have a little bit of a better year this year. Finally settled down in Atlanta, and he can hit 40 home runs at any time as well. So that's my honorable mention. I know it's questionable. You guys may think they're on the list, but that's who I have as my number. Actually, as my honorable mention. Ken, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, my honorable mention with the Chicago Cubs 2-3-4 hitters of Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, and Seiya Suzuki. This would be a pick that Ollie would like, trying to jump on a ship too early. I think they have a chance to be a top 5 offensive team in the National League, but all 3 of them didn't have an OPS of 800, in their range of 115 to 120 OPS plus. They're very solid players, but they need one superstar there to anchor that trio in order for them to make the top 5 list.
Yeah, man. I want the Cubs as my honorable mention too. Honestly, anybody but the Marlins. Like, this National League is so many good teams and so many terrible teams. That's just how it is. It's just like these 8 teams that are on point and so good every year, and then 22, and then 7 teams that are bad. So yeah, Cubs are my honorable mention. Good signing with Swanson. But outside of my top 5, all these other teams are just not good at baseball.
All right, so I think we're going to start at number 5. Ken, I'm going to swing it to you first. Who do you got?
Okay, I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals for my number 5 pick here. The trio of number 2 hitter Wilson Contreras, 3 Paul Goldschmidt, and 4 Nolan Arenado. We saw clips of spring training games yesterday where Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado went back-to-back. I think that'll happen a lot. Paul Goldschmidt won the MVP last year, leading the league in slugging, OPS, and OPS+, 35 home runs, 115 RBIs. I've been saying this a lot, but I think he's also another Mr. Consistency kind of guy. He's just putting up these ludicrous numbers year in and year out, and people just kind of overlook how great he is. He is 35, or is entering his 35 season, so he might be due for some regression, but he's had MVP votes in 9 of his last 10 years, dating back to 2013, so he'll do his thing. Nolan Arenado would also do his thing. He had an outstanding year last year, close to a 900 OPS, 5.8 offensive WAR. I think the question mark here is Wilson Contreras, but when you pair Paul Goldschmidt and Arenado, I think you can get carried by these two like nobody. Like, you could put Ollie in there and you might be a top 5 candidate. So Wilson Contreras is an all-star catcher. Right. All-star catcher who put up a 128 OPS plus. Yeah, this trio is pretty nasty. I don't know. I should have put him a little higher.
Okay, I like it. I'm gonna go next. Is that okay, Ollie?
I'll allow it this time.
Ollie doesn't have a word. Go ahead.
You'll allow it. Okay. So I have the New York Mets at number 5. Yeah, a little bit of interesting pick. I have Lindor, Alonso, McNeil. The Mets obviously are a clown organization, but they have made strides. I got to tip my cap. The Mets, Big Stevie Cohen has done a great job. If I'm going to be honest, I can't even be a hater. He has done a great job signing players. The McNeil signing is great for them, but better yet, Lindor Alonso is a nasty combo. I'm actually terrified of Pete Alonso. He's really good player, put up some great numbers last year, 40 home runs, 271 average, slugging 518, 4.0 WAR. He's been doing this for a couple years now. A year before that, 37 bombs. So and 2 years before that, 53. So Pete Alonso is absolutely killing it. One of my favorite players to watch. He has a great swing. And Lindor, pretty good year last year. 26.
To watch?
Yeah. last year, 26 home runs, 270, slugging 449, 6.8 WAR for Francisco Lindor. So he is, he is definitely the face of the franchise, tied with Alonso. And I really want to hate the Mets, but you can't even be mad at this 3. And then McNeil, real quick, 326 average guy. OBP of 382. I mean, just an absolutely solid player. 5.9 WAR. McNeil, again, another fun guy to watch. You don't really see a lot of guys hitting for average like that these days, so it's nice to see a little combo of the power in Alonso and the average of McNeil. So that's why I like the Mets at number 5.
Respectable. I have them a little higher.
Also respectable, but not as respectable as my number 5 pick, which is entirely mine. You guys didn't even think of this. St. Louis Cardinals, out of nowhere. It's going to be...
Copycat.
That's going to be Edman, Arenado, Goldschmidt. I'm not bothering with your silly Fangraphs lineup orders or whatever.
You can't. This is cheating.
I don't
fine,
care.
bro.
I don't care at all.
I would love to put Edman there, but no, I followed the rules.
This is my fantasy lineup. Edman, Arenado, Goldschmidt. What more need to be said? Ken said it all. Edman's coming back. He's going to steal 70 bases, bat 330. Korean superstar. He's going to have a 10 WAR. Arenado's going to hit 60 home runs.
All right,
for my
move
fantasy
on.
Team.
This is getting
just pure sex. Pure sex.
I like that pick, Ollie. I have the Cardinals
thanks, Isaac.
too, a little higher, but I like that pick.
Thanks, man.
It's a good pick.
I'm glad you do. Thanks, man.
Ken?
Thanks, buddy.
Wait, was that all of our number 5s?
All right, so yeah, Ollie copied me with the Cardinals, and then you had the Mets.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm a little different. So, Ollie, you know what? I feel like you need to gain some respect back in this little trio here. So I'm going to give you the first pick of the number 4. Yeah, let me hear your pick. Hopefully it's interesting.
Did he choose a division this time? Cheated with the...
That's just me always fighting for respect. You know how it is. Yeah, I got the Dodgers. I got the big bad LA Dodgers at number 4.
Interesting.
That's the little Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith combo in my mind. They lost Trey Turner. That one's got to hurt. But you got one of the best offensive catchers in the game. Seems to get better every year. And you got perennial MVP candidate and heartbreak of my life, Mookie Betts. And Freddie Freeman, who was ridiculous last year in his first year in LA. 325 average, got a batting title of 152 OPS plus, still driving in 100 runs. Dude has power and average.
He didn't get the batting
title.
title.
Sorry, McNeil got the batting title. Freeman was number 2. Freeman had the OBP title and led the league in hits and runs and doubles. And ball just flies off his bat. Love that guy to death. So Dodgers going to be my number 4. That's rock solid. Do you like that, Isaac? Is that Is that getting that respect back?
So I do have them a little higher, but I do like the pick of being a little outside the box, because I have the feeling that Ken has that team 1 or 2. So I kind of...
I'm going to go here then. I have the Dodgers 4 as well. Me and Ollie, are aligning with a lot of these picks.
Wow.
This is interesting. I'm surprised Ollie didn't choose a division and choose the best 3 hitters of a division here to cheat. But he put Will Smith in. Congrats to you. He is one of the most underrated catchers. I feel like I had him on my fantasy team last year, so there might be a little bias going on here. But
definitely.
He's a really, really good hitter. I mean, 24 home runs and 87 RBIs out of your 4-hole hitter, underrated pick. But as you said, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are carrying this trio. You missed runs. He led the league in runs. Freddie Freeman
said
did.
That so frequently.
He said it frequently.
I made that so clear.
Yeah, Mookie, Freddie, and Will Smith are number 4 on my list.
All right, for number 4, you guys already talked about him. I got the Cardinals. A little bit of bias here because Goldschmidt, I had him on my team. Arenado amazes me, and Wilson Contreras, really solid player. I'm not terrified of him, but you got 2 MVP candidates in this lineup in Goldschmidt and Arenado, and you guys already covered everything else, so that's my number 4. Let's move on to number 3. I'm going to go quick because it's another team you guys already talked about. It's the Dodgers. I kind of have number 3 and 2 like in a tie for me, even though I did rank the other team higher. But it's all about MVP candidates. Betts and Freeman are their 2 MVP candidates versus the other team's 2 MVP candidates. And then the third guy on the number 2 ranked team is a little better than the guy on the Dodgers. So that's why I have the Dodgers here. I think obviously the Dodgers are scary as hell. Freddie Freeman, nasty player. One of my favorite players to watch as well. I got a lot of those. And Mookie Betts, ever since the Red Sox made that little mistake, he's been going off in L.A.
Go,
enjoying
Alex
the
Verdugo.
beautiful weather. And yeah, Alex Verdugo's a sick player. He was almost on this list, but he just didn't make the cut.
I'm muting you both.
Dodgers at number 3. Ali, unfortunately, you cannot do this because you are next. Who's your number 3?
Rats. My number 3 is the scariest lineup in the game to me. Nuts.
Who'd you have?
This team is actually the scariest lineup to me. You know, they're number 3.
Who do you have at 3?
It's the Atlanta Braves. They actually scare me and intimidate me more than most of their lineups because they're so
Which
deep.
3 did you have? Because you
My
choose whoever
3,
you want.
I do choose whoever I want. It's the Acuna, Michael Harris.
Choose whoever I want.
Acuna,
Michael Harris is like the 7th hitter, bro.
and Austin Riley.
Do you have Judge in here too?
Those guys are filthy. Austin Riley, 38 home runs last season, hell power, 142 OPS plus. Michael Harris, Rookie of the Year, coming out of nowhere. Maybe a little bit of regression for him, but he's a 30-30 candidate, 300 average hitter. And then you have Acuna, who is still ranked like number 1 among outfielders in every fantasy ranking. He's due for a massive bounce back. This guy was almost a 40-40 player a few years ago, only 25. I don't know how you can possibly sleep on the Braves, guys. Isaac leaving him off this list is completely ridiculous. This man has not done his homework. He's just been doing peyote all morning and completely whiffing on his baseball work. So,
what the fuck is that?
Peyote's a hallucinogenic cactus.
At least I didn't put Eugenio Suarez above Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, and
Shohei
I'll
Ohtani.
defend that to the death.
And Shohei Ohtani.
I'll defend that, baby.
That's crazy. I wouldn't do that. You'll be dead very soon. Okay, Ken, your number 3 pick, my man.
My number 3 pick is a team that Isaac talked about earlier. It's the New York Mets. The same trio of Lindor, Alonso, and McNeil. Lindor had an outstanding year, guys. He quietly had one of his best offensive years in his career. 5.7 offensive WAR.
Let's go, Lindor!
In his career. And what I like about this trio is that Pete and Frankie Lindor both play games. They both played 160 games and 161 for Lindor. They're just out there batting 3 and 4 every single day for Buck Showalter's
They lost to the Braves.
It's not that the Yankees would love to do that. Just injuries come into play. There's a lot of teams would love their 3-4 hitters to play every day and would need them to, but the Mets can do it with the health of Alonso and Lindor and the consistency they bring to the lineup. It's an amazing trio. McNeil provides a little bat-to-ball skills. I think he might have a little regression. 140 OPS plus is crazy from McNeil. But yeah, this trio is pretty nice, man. Top 3.
I love it. Okay, so everyone did their number 3. Any thoughts before we move on to the last 2? Any thoughts about these picks so far?
Me and Ollie are eerily similar with our picks in the National League.
Well, we'll see how these top 2.
I am being ripped off. I'm being ripped off.
Why are you being ripped off?
It's unrelated.
We're being ripped off because you're choosing where the fuck you want.
It's not because of baseball. I'm being ripped off because of other reasons. But the point is that even though I may be suffering in life, I'm not suffering in baseball.
Can we move on, please?
I'm a beast at these predictions.
Okay.
Can I get my number 2?
All right, Ollie, I'm going to let you talk because you're already talking. Who's your number 2?
Thank you. My number 2 is the Phillies. Philadelphia.
Whoa.
Defending National League champion. Bolstered by a big controversial signing of Trey Turner off of the Dodgers, which the Dodgers are super psyched about. I'm actually going to pick 5 guys, not just 3 for this one. I'm going to go...
just say the whole lineup. You know what, Ollie? Just say the whole lineup.
Turner, Harper, Real Muto, Hoskins, Schwarber. Those 5, I think, are a better combo than any other 5 in the
Castellanos?
game. Nah. Castellanos is...
He's due for a bounce back, I'm not going to lie.
He's snoozing, man. The man's asleep. You see him out in the field, he's napping. He's taking naps out there. He's like you out there, man. He's just out there, showering with whoever and sleeping. All right, but who can argue with Harper, the 2-time MVP, Trey Turner hasn't been MVP yet somehow, and JT Realmuto, best hitting catcher in the game. That's probably 130 OPS pluses all around. It's a lineup that could put up 800 runs. 5th in OPS last season, 3rd in slugging. They hit home runs. They hit for average a little bit. They get lots of walks. Nothing not to like about the Phillies, except all the strikeouts.
Okay, yeah, I like this pick too. That's actually my number 2 pick as well. So if I'm comparing them to the Dodgers, I think you got Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts, Freeman, all MVP. Any one of those guys can win MVP. And then you basically got the battle of Kyle Schwarber versus Will Smith. And I'm taking Kyle Schwarber all day. I'm drinking that Kyle Schwarber Kool-Aid because that man hits some absolute bombs. 46 home
baby.
runs last year, slugging .504 with a surprisingly low WAR, but Kyle Schwarber, man, absolutely nasty. He's hit over 30 home runs, 4 times in his career, but he's just getting better. He is just getting better and stronger and bigger, so that's my guy. And Bryce Harper is probably the coolest player in the MLB, tied with Jazz Chisholm for just absolute sauce. So yeah, this, and then obviously Trey Turner is going to add so much depth to this lineup. He's going to get on for those big boys, for those JT, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, may I even say. So this lineup is absolutely nasty, and it's honestly pretty close to my number 1 pick here too. So,
I saw this.
Yeah.
I saw this great video. Hold on one second. I saw this great video on YouTube, which you can
sorry.
put up in the background. It's called like Bryce Harper, the most overrated player in baseball. Have you seen this, Ken? And it's just him hitting absolute
I don't think so.
bombs for like 5 minutes straight. So great. Put that up behind this video when you get a chance. Harper's great. Super cool.
Okay.
Not underrated.
Harper's so cool.
Not overrated.
So cool.
Yeah. I'm getting ripped off for following the rules because Harper's not expected to return until mid-July, so I couldn't put the Phillies on there because he's not going to play more than half of the season.
He's gonna
But
come back.
he would easily be in this top 5 list. Obviously, don't roast me for not having the Phillies here. But for my number 2 pick, it's a team that one of you talked about earlier. It's the Atlanta Braves. In the same trio of Acuna Jr., Michael Harris, and Austin Riley. I am so high on Michael Harris. This guy is as Ollie said, 30-30 candidate. I think he is due for such a huge jump in production. I mean, 853 OPS as a rookie, 19 home runs, 64 RBIs, and limited playing time, 20 stolen bases. And Acuna, coming off a knee surgery, also had 29 stolen bases. And then Austin Riley, it's the big bopper. We all know what he can do. He might be an MVP next year. So in this trio,
Ken,
you got
I'm confused.
2. Yeah,
Ken, I'm confused because you've been giving Ollie crap the entire episode about order. How do you have Acuna, Austin Riley, Michael Harris? Because Acuna's projected to bat number 1, Austin Riley number 3, Michael Harris number 5. So how do you figure that?
Yeah, Ken. How do you figure that, man? I thought we had a whole.
Wait, Michael Harris
here.
isn't 2?
No, Michael Harris not 2. Fangraphs and the other website both have him 5th.
Yeah, Ken. Come on, man.
That's my bad. When I checked, when I made this list a couple weeks ago, Michael Harris was 2. They have Olsen batting 2nd.
Wow.
So that doesn't change my picks then. I'll take Olsen instead of Harris, and I'll follow the rules. Acuna, Olsen, and Riley. I'm still having them top 2 in this league. Olsen is a 40 home run candidate. Riley and Acuna are going to carry this trio, so that 3rd spot is getting replaced by a 40 home run guy. It doesn't bother me. I'm high on Acuna as well. Enough. Bounce back season from him. Yeah, as Ollie said, 40-40. Like, these guys are stealing bases and hitting for power.
Baby,
not a lot of other guys doing this.
Okay. I mean, I feel a little self-conscious now about putting the Braves honorable mention. I guess there is a big
I think that was as ludicrous as Ollie's Mariners pick.
I'm not gonna. I don't think it was, but I'm not gonna lie. Even without Bryce Harper, you could switch JT Realmuto in there, and Phillies are still top 5 offense. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they are still top 5 if you swap JT for Harper in that list. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber. If you put that lineup in the AL, it's top 3. I'm not gonna lie. That's
so
top 3
when you look
AL.
at it, just because you can't add JT following the rules, you got Trey, Schwarber, and Hoskins, or Schwarber, Hoskins, Realmuto. You can't leave off Trey Turner.
I understand.
I tried really hard to put the Phillies in here, but it just their lineup didn't really make sense.
All right, and I think we all should have the same number 1, right? Can we all say it on 1, 2, 3?
There's gonna be a lag, but yeah, I think we do have the same team.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Chicago
San
Cubs.
Diego
Colorado
Padres.
Rockies. Okay, yeah. So I have the Padres number 1. I think let's all just tackle this at once because we're all gonna have the same take.
Sure. Do we all want to take
Machado.
a player? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Bogarts, Soto, Machado. I'll go with Bogarts. Or you know what? I'm gonna just frame this nicely. So I did this with MVP candidates again. So if you look at the Dodgers or the Phillies lineup, they have 2 MVP candidates. I think the Padres have 3 MVP candidates. I honestly do. I mean, Bogarts, you might question that as an MVP candidate, but man, that guy is such a consistently good hitter. Doesn't hit for as much power as the other two, but he can hit 330 and hit 28 home runs. Like he can go off at any time like that. And then I'll let you guys talk about Soto, but I think this is no question the best lineup in the NL and maybe even in baseball.
Yeah, I have the same trio, but I'm surprised you didn't have Tatis because he's expected back in April, 3 months before Harper. I mean, I think Tatis is a better hitter or better player than Bogarts is right now. That lineup, if Tatis rejoins and is healthy, that's absolutely nasty. Yeah, hurts me that I can't add Tatis this trio, but Bogarts is no slouch. I mean, this trio is absolutely gross, man. It's going to be so fun to watch.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, Austin Nola, Trent Grisham, and Jay Cronenworth.
Hey, don't sleep.
Like, don't even...
Matt Carpenter, Nelson Cruz combo?
Don't even sleep on these guys, bro. No, the Padres are ridiculous.
The
problem with them is that, I don't know, they seem genetically...
They have a problem?
They seem genetically, like, predisposed to not scoring runs. Look who they had last year. They had half a year of Soto. They had Machado, they had pretty solid Cronenworth, Hassan Kim, and they only scored 705 runs, which is like middling offense for that.
Okay, and add Tatis
so
and Bogarts.
So then you have to add Tatis and Bogarts. You think that's going to change everything around? Probably will. I mean, at least 150 more runs.
And Soto's going to be better.
It's just weird that the Padres
exactly,
have...
and another half.
The Padres have
this
had
lineup is adding
lots of good lineups before, and they... just don't seem to like. I don't know if it's a Petco Park thing or just
this is not a genetic. No,
dude. Look at the Padres. If you look at their like runs scored over the past 10 years, they've never eclipsed 700 once, except like 2007.
And they've never had 4 MVP candidates in one lineup ever.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of paranoid about them.
What?
I'm annoyed about the Padres. I think they can't score runs.
That's crazy.
I hope I'm wrong.
They can't score runs, but they have the number 1 best trio.
I know they do, but
didn't you have them at number 1, right?
Dude, I do. Like I have them at 1. I'm totally with you because it makes perfect sense. But baseball's weird. It doesn't make sense all the time. Teams you think do well don't do well.
So what is it? You got to back it up. You got to put your money where your mouth is, man. You can't have the number 1 and talk shit about them.
It could be just a feeling. Hey,
it's
Ken.
Fully
it
a
could
feeling.
be just like a
Ken,
a
you
feeling.
racist? Ken doesn't believe that people can have feelings. He's racist. Yeah, it's a feeling. Like
so,
the Padres. I don't understand how they've had so many good teams over the past 20 years, and they just keep not scoring runs. And like they used to have freaking.
Can you read me one of the?
No, because
can you read me one of their best lineups in the past? I'm going to compare it to Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, and Soto.
I'm not arguing with you on that, but like you pull up to 2009 when you had Adrian Gonzalez in his prime, pretty solid Chase Headley. Yeah. Chase Headley, Headley. Chase Headley.
Okay, Adrian Gonzalez is not better than any of them. Maybe tied with Bogarts.
It's freaking blowing out my headphones here. But the point is, there's just something about, I don't know if it's that city.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about this.
It's weird.
Adrian Gonzalez, okay, and then Chase Headley, and who was the third one?
David Eckstein, who was, at the back end of his career there, but that's still, solid number 3 right there.
And how many runs did they pull up?
They were like last in the league in runs. They had like 650 runs.
This is also a tough 2009, different baseball. I mean, this is crazy comparisons, but I mean that's crazy.
It's a huge
Who's the third guy? Isaac, name the third guy I just mentioned.
I don't even know what he just said.
No.
Thank you. And then we have.
All right, just hear me out. All right,
so
last season
lineups of the Padres in the past, and we can't name the third guy.
You could just say it's a feeling, and it would be done. Like you could
just stop trying to justify it with David Eckstein. Man.
I could just say that you look like a truck store peyote salesman, but I'm not going to say that right now. Park factor last season for the Padres. Park factor for them was 92 last year. That was one of like the most pitcher-friendly parks in the game. I think it's just like a nightmare place to try to score runs in. It's just a graveyard for offense. Is Petco Park.
Bartolo Colon did it.
He did, but not everyone can be big sexy. That's a fact. So
that's true. That's
what they do. They're throwing a lot of good hitters in that ballpark. They're throwing a lot of sexy guys in that lineup. I want them to score runs. It's gonna be if they are like a top 5 offense this year, you realize it'll be the first time they've done that in like the history of the Padres ever.
But I would put my faith in that because they have 4 MVPs.
Yeah, but it's still the first. It's still the first time.
It's still
the first time in 50 years. Like, is that not? That means something. If you've never had a top 5 lineup in 50 years,
because they've been bad.
They've reached the World Series in that time, but it's always just been on pitching. Like there's
yeah.
more going on
Exactly.
here than you give
You're
credit.
making
It
to.
my
would
point.
make sense that this lineup would be the first team to put
So
up
you
the
think
most
that
runs in
at the
Padres history.
That's
53
why we're
years
saying
this team's
they're good.
existence,
That's
it's
why.
this one.
Thank you. What? I'm saying this lineup is
All
better than
right.
David Eckstein as the third best hitter in the lineup.
Obviously
Yes.
it is.
I've never even heard of
Well,
David
you're
Eckstein.
comparing
That's
them
not
to 2009,
surprising.
bro. Okay, so what team we could do a whole Padres deep dive. But what year did the Padres score the most amount of runs in
All right,
franchise
let's
history?
take. I had that. I
Let's
had
look
that
at
right
their
now.
lineup.
It was 1997. They scored 795. Again, this is during the great
Well,
offensive.
okay,
peak
give
of
me their top
steroids.
three
Let's do
hitters.
the top three hitters. You can probably name them, but it was your man Tony Gwynn, of course, 37. Ken
Okay,
Caminiti,
yeah, I know Tony
MVP, and Steve Finley.
Who?
Okay, so
Finley, I've heard
that's
of
solid three.
Yeah, but even then, that 795 was only the second in the league. That's not bad actually. But so they've had kind of one good offensive year in their history. But that's still that team was.
And that team's lineup is worse than it is now. So I'm not saying they're going to lead the league in scoring,
So,
but
so
I wouldn't
therefore-
I don't. Where is your argument coming from? You just say it's a feeling.
It is a feeling,
say
but
it's
it's
a feeling,
supported
it's
by data.
It's not supported by
It is
shit.
supported
No,
by
it's not.
So much data. So much data right now. You don't even know. It's ridiculous numbers. Okay, we can be done now.
Oh, we're done now?
Yep.
So who is
Wait,
number one,
okay.
Ollie?
Padres.
Who's the number one trio?
Padres.
Okay.
Nola.
Padres.
Cardinals.
Okay.
Supported by
really quick. Did everyone have the Astros and the Padres?
Yes. Ooh, yes, we do.
All right, what's a better
Yes.
lineup? Real quick. Let's vote. Ken, who do you got?
Padres.
Ollie?
Don't do this to me,
Say the
man.
Astros.
Wait, best lineup or trio? Because lineup,
Best
I think
trio.
the Astros are better.
Best trio.
Best
Trio
trio Padres.
Padres,
Best
yeah.
trio Padres. Best lineup.
Yeah, best trio Padres. That was easy. God, that was easy.
Supported by
Alright,
data,
guys.
but data also supports that they're the worst. Keep going.
The data support that Eugenio Suarez was better than Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton.
Anthony
the data
Rizzo,
support
yeah.
that. Anthony Rizzo, yeah.
I just
forget
love,
a new person.
I just
every time.
love being not only the most attractive of
'Cause
us
there's so
three,
many.
but also just objectively like the most knowledgeable.
Because
about
listen,
baseball.
he also
It's
left
just nice
off.
to have that for myself that I can know.
He had him third, so Warriors 4 and 5 teams.
All right, guys. This has been the meat of the order with Oliver, Ken,
Meat!
and Isaac, Bleacher
Woo!
Boys Media. If you guys
Bleacher
enjoyed this
Boys!
content, please
Bleacher Boys
smash
Media!
that like button. Demolish that
Please
subscribe
mute Ollie.
button.
Oh my God.
I doubt a lot of you have gotten this far, so if you have, we appreciate you. We love
Ain't
you.
nobody listening.
And
Woohoo!
we'll be releasing so much more content in the future, including some IRL stuff, so stay tuned for that. Final thoughts, boys. Say goodbye.
Thank you
Say
for
bye,
listening.
Ollie.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Okay.